The Japanese imperialist colonial rule over Korea was put an end on August 15, 1945. The great leader Kim Il-sung organized and led a 20-year-long anti-Japanese revolutionary struggle to victory and thus accomplished the historic cause of national liberation. The Korean people had to live as slaves in the period of national ordeals, when they were deprived of the spoken and written Korean language, and even the ancestral family names, as well as their territory and national rights. But they came to regard it as their pride to be called Koreans. A dignified state was born on this land with more than 5,000-year-long history, along with a proud call of Korea. What kind of country is the Democratic People's Republic of Korea? What kind of people are the Koreans? Now we are standing in front of the statue, Victory. The Fatherland Liberation War in the 1950s, which defeated the US imperialists, boasting of being the strongest in the world. The Fatherland Liberation War provoked by the US imperialists was an outnumbered showdown to our state and people. As the world commented, the Korean War was fought between a large force dreaming of world domination and a newborn army. Perhaps nobody on this planet would have thought that we would win the war. This is the victorious Fatherland Liberation War Museum, implicating 1,129 days of the 3-year war. Preserved in the museum are almost 200 flags of the DPRK which fluttered during the war. This is the flag held by soldiers of the 1st Company, the 1st Battalion, the 48th Regiment, the 15th Infantry Division of the Korean People's Army during the battle on Gachil Hill.
이렇게 성탄과 파편에 뚫린 자리가 무려 270군데나 됩니다. 이 깃발을 선두에서 휘날린 기수에게 날아온 적의 흉탄이 어느 정도였겠는가 잘 가늠할 수가 있습니다. 한 사람이 쓰러지면 다른 사람이 이어받고 그 사람이 쓰러지면 또 다른 사람이 이렇게 이어지고 또 이어지면서 12번째 기수에 의해 이 깃발이 가칠범에 휘날리게 되었습니다. 그 12명 기수들 가운데 살아서 이 깃발을 손에서 넣은 사람이 없었습니다. 정말이지 저국을 지켜 한 목숨 바쳐 싸운 백졸류군의 희생정신이 바로 이 기폭에 그대로 담겨져 있습니다.
The Korean people fought like this and made the US imperialists surrender in 3 years after the start of the war. With their indomitable spiritual strength, they defeated a formidable enemy and neutralized even a bomb. July 27th gave the undying fame of heroic Korea and heroic people to this country and its people. The victory won by the Korean people in the 3-year war was great, but the damage inflicted upon them was unprecedentedly devastating in the human history. The US imperialists blared that Korea would never rise up again even in 100 years. The Korean people, however, showed the mettle of Koreans in the post-war rehabilitation and construction once again through to the call of Kim Il-sung. For socialism, for the fulfillment of the first 5-year plan. The first 5-year plan was a plan of great changes to establish a socialist system and change Korea, once a backward agricultural state, into a socialist industrial agricultural state. It was really huge and stiff at that time. To crown all, there was a great shortage of funds and materials. All people across the country rose up. They increased production and saved everything and tided over the hardships. This period was recorded as the Chollima era in the Korean history. World people called Korea a country of working miracles and Chollima Korea. The indomitable Korean people produced heroic Korea and Chollima Korea. The great spiritual strength of the people who are not afraid of any formidable enemy and do not yield to any trials has been carried forward decade after decade. When some socialist countries in East Europe collapsed one after another between the late 1980s and the early 1990s, the imperialists resorted to their moves of isolating and suffocating the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, a strong bulwark of socialism. Even natural disasters hit it for several years. The Korean people had to make an arduous march. In the fatal years when the survival itself was a miracle, the People's Army emerged as a pillar and main force of the revolution. The revolutionary soldier spirit was spread over the whole society, and consecutive victories were achieved in the struggle for defending socialism. The DPRK demonstrated its might as a political ideological power and invincible military power, and became a proud artificial Earth satellite manufacturer and launcher. This is Pyongyang General Electric Cable Factory 326.
원하는 행구식이 공장은 부족한 것도 많았고 어려웠지만 생산을 멈추지 않았습니다. 공장이 영을 써야 나라의 경제가 일도선다는 하나의 생각으로 생산 공정을 현대화하고 공장이 면모를 일선시키는 사업을 적극 내밀어 전국이 본보기 공장으로 일도시켰습니다.
This is weaver Lee Myung-sun at the Pyongyang Kim Jong-suk textile mill. She is merited weaver and meritorious person of socialist patriotism.
전 그때 정말이지 배고픔을 처음 느꼈습니다. 그러나 배고픔보다도 더 참기 힘든 것이 있었는데 그것이 바로 저 자신을 지키는 길이었습니다. 나라가 시련을 이겨내고 빨리 일어서자면 내가 한 대의 집기라도 더 맡아서 한 미터의 천이라도 더 싼다면 우리나라가 더 빨리 일어서지 않을까 하는 생각에 넉 대의 집기로부터 6대, 10대, 12대의 집기 이렇게 늘어나갔습니다.
No one could bring such people to their knees. Towards the close of the 20th century, the imperialist Allied forces declared that they would make the globe an imperialist kingdom without red flag and hand it down to the 21st century. But the red flag of Korea fluttered higher. The 1990s clearly proved the indomitable spirit and tenacity of the Koreans rising up despite any obstacles and difficulties. The spiritual strength of the masses of the people is not displayed of itself. The Koreans are the heroic people who defeated the US and Japanese imperialists and built a socialist state on debris under the guidance of the great leader Kim Il-sung. They are also the powerful people who honorably defended socialist Korea under the guidance of the great leader Kim Jong-il. Today, the respected comrade Kim Jong-un is leading the Korean people. The past 10 odd years, when he has led the DPRK, was a harsh period that witnessed unprecedented trials and difficulties. We had to overcome the worst public health crisis that swept the world and tide over the fury of nature. Really unheard of were the moves of the hostile forces to isolate and stifle us. On this land, however, the era of our state-first principle has opened, and the overall development of socialism is accelerated. The DPRK is dynamically rising as an invincible power, displaying its limitless great strength. Pulsating on this land where we live is the breath of great creation and change of realizing everything and working miracles of history with our own efforts. Witnessing in reality how the powerful country they desired so much is being built, the Korean people came to have a firmer belief in their strength and much greater confidence in sheer victory and indomitable fighting spirit.
조선의 과학자라는 배짱을 가지고 하나를 연구해도 세계적인 것, 최상의 것을 내놓기 위해서 분투하겠습니다.
저는 단순히 경기에서 무거운 중량물을 들어올린다고만 생각하지 않습니다. 우리 조선을 온 세계에 올려 세운다고 생각합니다.
조선 사람의 불굴의 기계를 우리가 떨쳐야 합니다. 바로 여기 화성지구 건설장에서 조선 청년의 본때를 보여주겠습니다.
Koreans. This appellation was a pronoun of ordeals 8 years ago, but today it has become a symbol of dignity and victory. We are Koreans. We are a powerful people who rise up despite whatever trials. Korea, supported by the great people with indomitability, heroism and tenacity, will be powerful forever.